Medford Arts Center Poetry Gathering friends. This is Vince.
This is Naomi.
Spring has sprung, so we're out in the sun. And we have a great program for you today. We're going to hear from 10 different artists sharing their art from across the decades and the centuries. We're going to feature local artists who all won honorable mention in our most recent poetry contest. And then we're going to share a few other artists. And we're going to travel deep into the woods and to a diamond in the rough in our backyard of Mill Street in Medford. Enjoy.
Mindset. In this long extended spring, not summer, I look toward the river through a canopy of lush, abundant green, and I see only gold, November gold. My spring is long away, summer given to yesterday, and in my autumn I am bold and revel in the warmth of gold. The gold is gone from in my hair, and there is only white and silver there. The moon is of that color too, and laughing, watches me and you. That laughter, born of heartstring song, of whispers writing all gone wrong, shall keep my winter long at bay, and leave me time, at last, to play.
The Wanderer. The moon was a pale companion in the harbor of the night, as it crossed the endless canyon and shared its guiding light. The sea was a calm reflection of a peerless realm of stars, a vast resplendent collection, far beyond this world of ours. The land was a peaceful haven, as shadows lay down to rest. The call of a seasoned maven drew hermits out of their nest. The breeze was a gentle spirit as it slipped between the leaves. In the stillness one could hear it, tiptoe as quiet as thieves. The pulse of the orb advancing, it widened across the dome, the pull of the spell entrancing, at last the wanderer's home. Away from the peaceful hamlet, a sojourner chose to roam. I left to find who I am yet, it was always here at home.
I'm Pam Spice, and my poem is called Write to Inspire. To write a poem is a gift that will inspire. In seas of sand with thoughts adrift, my verse is nice but needs a lift. I'll melt the ice and add desire that comes from deep within my soul. My spirit soars, then sparks the fire. I'm in control, and words transpire. Imagination is the key to one's success when writing lyric poetry. Two lovers meet at yonder lea, and flowing verses now progress with vivid imagery and rhyme. I write each day, then I express more love sublime with great finesse.
Hi, my name is Gia, and this is my poem, Hymn. I told myself, when you find my truth, the darkest part of me that no one dares to travel down, you would bury it away. Instead, you gave it light and flowers grew. My heart pleaded for someone to not see me as simply broken. You made me love myself, made me want to smile at the little things, helped me learn to live and not just survive. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ben Brandreth, and we are reciting my poem, Pine Smoke. I caught the scent of a campfire on the wind that burns in its own urn of brick. It smells of the bond between earth and foot and the pine sap that was left within. I caught vision of smoke off in the distance, rising above treetops as green as spring. It raced itself trying to be the highest of all dark and dreary gray things. I caught a message through crackling flame of love and the happiest of ends. It echoed of family hugging so tightly that their air was lost in the sense. I drew near to feel and savor the moment, their toes clawing at earth less rough, but all that I found were smoldering embers and a sign telling me to wake up.
And our final poem, submitted by a local artist, receiving honorable mention. This is Vera Resnick's You. Planted 20 years ago, you grew stately, wider in girth, ring by ring. You anchored roots deeply, prodded extensive branching, some to reach skyward. Never hurrying, growing patient, wiser, resilient, you told your own story, accepting seasons, storms, onslaughts of atmospheric pollution. Your stature elicits awe, admiration, beauty announced by shading leaves, sharing, giving of yourself. Woodpeckers drum, drill holes, squirrels scamper, birds perch, nest, people find peace. Your bark splits, sloughs, twigs shed, leaves crisp, ants, wasps inebriate upon your oozing life force. You struggle, fight disease, ravishment, lose. No bird sings when the chainsaw shreds the silence, eliminating your being. You crash to the earth that lovingly nurtured you, creating a spatial void. You were grand, soon to decompose into a new life. Grand again. Farewell. Our next artist lives in Colorado, among the aspen trees. This is Ilan Shamir's Advice from a Tree. Dear friend, stand tall and proud. Sink your roots deeply into the earth. Reflect the light of a greater source. Think long term. Go out on a limb. Remember your place among all living beings. Embrace with joy the changing seasons, for each yields its own abundance. The energy and birth of spring, the growth and contentment of summer, the wisdom to let go of leaves in the fall, the rest and quiet renewal of winter. Feel the wind and the sun, and delight in their presence. Look up at the moon that shines down upon you and the mystery of the stars at night. Seek nourishment from the good things in life. Simple pleasures, earth, fresh air, light. Be content with your natural beauty. Drink plenty of water. Let your limbs sway and dance in the breezes. Be flexible. Remember your roots. Enjoy the view. Our next artist was born Marguerite Annie Johnson on April 4th, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. Of course, we know her as Maya Angelou. Published in 1983, this is Caged Bird. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. We could not let April go by without hearing from William Shakespeare. Baptized on April 26, 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire, England, born 457 years ago. And all these years later, his words still resonate in our art. Whether it's Romeo and Juliet that inspired West Side Story, which inspired Grease, which inspired Love Story, William Shakespeare's words are alive today as they were hundreds of years ago. First published in 1623, As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 7, spoken by the character Jacques. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved or world too wide, for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. The American novelist Robert Parker once wrote, "Baseball is the most important thing in life that doesn't matter." For those of us who do love baseball, it does matter. It matters so much that we consider there to be 5 seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall, and baseball season. To honor America's pastime, we take you to Lawrence, Massachusetts, the birthplace of Ernest Thayer, who wrote on June 3rd, 1888, 133 years ago, Casey at the bat. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but 1 inning more to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to that hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could get but a whack at that, they put up even money now, with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a Lulu and the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It knocked upon the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, a smile on Casey's face. And when, responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat, no stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip.
Another leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches, black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand. And it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity great, Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold, they saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip, his teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright, the band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light, and somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
Oh, sorry. Just listening to the game. Great invention, these cell phones. Now I can listen to baseball games on this instead of a transistor radio. Thank you to the local artists who shared their honorable mention award-winning poetry with us. We've been fortunate to have a lot of submissions from the community, and keep them coming. We'll be sharing those with you in future videos as well. And the other artists, spanning from Shakespeare to Thayer, from 1888 to hundreds of years ago, proving once again that poetry and literature are timeless.
And baseball.
And baseball too. And speaking of baseball, those still photos that you saw behind Casey at the bat, those were all taken at Bunning Field. That's that hidden gem in Medford on Mill Street. And Bunning Field is a famous location because not only Ty Cobb played there, but so did Mike Trout. So speaking of spanning the decades, you couldn't get two more diverse players or two more diverse times in the life of baseball in America than Ty Cobb and Mike Trout. You also saw some wonderful pictures of the woods. Those pictures were taken at a location that Naomi and I visited recently that we're going to share with you again during another video. But it's a beautiful sculpture garden, not in Hamilton, New Jersey, but south in Goshen, New Jersey. We had a great time visiting there. Not only is it a beautiful location, but they really know how to celebrate the arts. Speaking of celebrating the arts, the Medford Arts Center has a great program every week, every month throughout this summer. Please visit the Medford Arts Center website as well as our Facebook page to see what's going on at the MAC. So you may notice I'm wearing this special jersey. Years ago, Naomi and I celebrated a birthday at a baseball park. It happened to be a baseball park that we broke into months before, but it was up in northern New Jersey, and we brought our families together to celebrate our birthdays. And my brother wanted to know what I wanted for my birthday. And I always wanted a classic baseball jersey. So he said, "Who is your favorite baseball player?" I said, "Henry Aaron, of course." But when he gave me the jersey, I was a little surprised because it says on the back, H. Aaron. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I never liked it because of that. I always wondered, why would they need to put H in front of Aaron for Henry Aaron's jersey? Well, it's because my brother knew a little piece of trivia that I did not know. In 1963, the year I was born, Henry Aaron was playing, but so was his brother on the same team. So that's why they had to put an H on the back of this jersey. I've always known that I played baseball because of my brother. I idolized him growing up. Sometimes I still do. That's what big brothers do. So, thanks, Steve.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. Also, something else to celebrate in the next coming weeks, Mother's Day. So for all the moms out there, near and far, thank you for all you do for us every day. We love you very much.
Thank you to our moms in heaven, too.
And to you, we miss you. We look forward to seeing you soon. We hope you will enjoy the videos that we've published in the past, this one as well. Please, if you could, like, make a comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. But we hope you enjoyed this video, and we thank you for joining us on the journey of embracing the power of poetry. We wish you well until we see you again. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.